Hello, we are in a different room tonight in our home. And ready to let go of Shabbat and enter into the space between with the Havdala blessing. Okay? You should be able to make that chair higher.
Okay.
Can you do that? So we're just a little finished here, but we're getting there. Actually, behind this,
Yeah.
you see it comes up?
It's nice.
That's a nice chair.
Oh, there we go.
That's a good desk
That's
chair.
good, yeah.
So we this
Let's see.
screen behind us is hiding a crib. Actually, that's a good desk
That's
chair.
good, yeah. Oh, it's happening. Okay.
Oh, good. So welcome, and I hope everyone has had a Shabbat Shalom, some measure of peace on this Shabbat. Did you? Did you have a little peace on the Shabbat?
Boy, that's a hard question.
It was kind of a crazy
So
day,
much
but
going on here.
there's a lot going on.
Wait, let me take a dog. There we go.
So we had a little peace.
Movies.
Thanks, Jimmy. That's sweet. All right.
I feel better now.
Do you feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Well, we transition this week between this really interesting portion, Tetzaveh, that speaks about the clothing, the garments, the sanctuary,
Details.
no Moses, the details.
I love the details.
The priestly, all the priestly details, the lighting of the Ner Tamid.
First light,
Mm-hmm.
then clothes.
Mm.
Really nice
That's
clothes.
his favorite thing. Jimmy loves clothes.
Really nice clothes.
If you ever have noticed, if Jim sees that you're wearing an interesting fabric, he'll come up to you and go, nice fabric. You do that.
Nice merchandise.
Nice merchandise. That's what he says. That's true. Jim's parents, Pearl and Harry Goodman, were in the children's clothing business. And they had a little shop called the Bambi Shop.
Mm-hmm.
And when our kids were little, Pearl used to just fill boxes with really adorable clothes that our kids wouldn't wear. You know, those little wool coats that looked so cute. Wouldn't wear them. Beautiful party dresses for the girls. Adina was into them, but Sarika wouldn't wear them. Too frou-frou for her, but they were beautiful. In fact, we still have those dresses. I saved every one.
Yeah.
Waiting for a girl.
So we're commanded, not asked, to lift up light in the place. And there's two senses to that light. There's a sense of eternality. It's a chok olam. It's an eternal chok, some sort of law that's eternal. But the light itself is from evening to morning. It's tended from evening till morning. So you have both the sense of the dailiness of bringing light. Lifting up a light is the language we use, to lift up a light. Right. Even the light needs lift. So you have both the sense of dailiness, right, the daily necessity, right, to renew that light, and the eternality of it, the permanent nature of it. And then you have really nice clothes.
The priest said nice clothes.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Good fabrics, the colors, specific in the details. And I love the details. I love the details.
I know.
Sometimes too much, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, in the commentary, though, it talks about how the clothing for the Torah and all of the things that we've taken from the priests and we've given to the Torah were the clothing of the priests, and somehow they relate to how we clothe ourselves today. So like the colors of the breastplate and do you remember one of the things that they found in an archaeological dig in Jerusalem in the site of the temple, I think, was something that's mentioned in this portion. It's a little pomegranate made out of ivory.
Oh.
And they actually found one. And it's mentioned that the pomegranates would be tied to the hem of the robes of the priests, and they actually found a pomegranate. It's in the Israel Museum. You can even look it up online. It's really a beautiful, tiny little pomegranate, and some of them actually had bells in them, so that you could tell when the priests were coming.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the clothing was important.
The colors were important. The materials were important.
Mm-hmm.
Details, and that every physical notion has a spiritual
But
complement.
it doesn't make, I don't know, how do we make sense of the fact that in the very next portion, with all of this beautiful detail, all of these beautiful images and the light, we have the greatest sin of all. We have the greatest slip of all, and that is the making of the golden, fashioning of the molten calf out of gold.
Yeah. But you know, if you look at it the way some of the commentators look at it, it wasn't that we were looking for a new God. We were looking for a new leader.
Yeah.
We were expecting Moses to return at a certain time,
That's
we calculated wrong, and Moses wasn't here. And maybe we relied on Moses too much because we kind of lost our footing, you know. So if we lose our ground, anything could happen. And the way some of the commentators read it is, we lost our ground for a moment, and all it takes is a moment, you know, to break that connection. And when the connection is broken, something can happen in the slip from the mouth to the glass, so to speak. Something can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you can lose your sense of who you are and what you're connected to. It can happen. It happens. And it's not always calculated. It's not always. It's something you always prepare for. It can happen. And I know this from my work in addictions and other things that I do. Some people say that, well, people that have relapses, they're planned in some ways. Not always. Not always. Something can happen in a moment. And that's why vigilance is so important, to be vigilant. There's no rest from vigilance. There's no vacation from vigilance. That kind of spiritual vigilance is serious.
Yeah.
So I think we should sing a little too, you know.
Sure.
And I hope we're using a nice microphone, so I hope that's working out.
I hope people can hear us. I don't really see anybody. Is anybody there? Oh, hi, Larry. Good. Glad to work. We have a new microphone too.
And a very nice guitar.
Larry, I'm having so much fun telling stories on Monday morning to our grandchildren. I still do that. I do it on Zoom now. But every Monday morning they let me tell them a story. So sweet.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחו. המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחו. לכבודכם דת לבבי, ידי ידיהו הנביא. לכבודכם דת לבבי, ידי ידיהו הנביא. Derecha Michael Yala Sierra Gabriel Ulechem Dad Levavi Eli Eliyahu Hanavi לכבודכם דת לבבי אלי אליהו הנביא המבדיל בין קודש לחול חטאותינו ימחו לכבודכם דת לבבי ידי ידיהו הנביא לכבודכם דת לבבי ידי ידיהו הנביא You know, did I read that poem last week? That really nice poem, that Havdala poem, that the sophisticated Havdala. Oh,
You have it?
I do.
What'd you get?
I could go get it.
Get it.
It's really good. I decided to include it in my collection. You gonna play a little?
Yeah.
It'll just take me a second.
Yeah. So, you know, for a people who prides ourselves on oneness, the oneness of God, the oneness of creation, the echad of the Shema, the oneness of all, we also have many twos in our story, right? All the twins, all the separations, all the brothers, Cain and Abel, Ishmael and Isaac, Jacob and Esau, Rachel and Leah, you know, sisters, all of these, and each one, you know, a side, a different side of something. So for a people who prides ourselves in oneness, we have a lot of twos, a lot of distinctions, and that's what Havdalah is for us. It's a separation between the Kodesh and the whole, between what's holy and what's not yet holy.
Yeah. Last week, I remember we read the Havdalah poem by Paul Celan,
Yes.
which is a difficult piece. Beautiful, but difficult.
So isn't this your poem right here?
No, that's something else.
Okay. So we will make Havdalah in just a moment. Let go of Shabbat. We're in the month of Adar, and the moon is growing in the sky, but the full moon won't bring Purim because it's only Adar 1, and this year we have 2 Adars. We have Adar 2, and Purim will come at the full moon of Adar 2.
Jewish prayer for the departure of the Queen. Oh, we should talk about that maybe.
So it was so cute last night. We had visitors from a little confirmation class from a UCC church in Afton, and Jim told them, you know, to watch for the Queen entering, the bride, the Sabbath bride. So they all did. They turned around and they looked at the entrance to the holy space.
Yeah, we introduced the vocabulary to them of the Shabbos as a bride or as a queen, a Shekhinah, the inner presence, the quiet presence of the Spirit. Jewish prayer for the departure of the Queen. On Saturday night, we have a ceremony to delay her departure. Because, also the bride, we call her, because she delights in stories and songs. So if we bring over the good stories and the good songs on Saturday night, we delay her departure. Accompany the Queen. Jewish prayer for the departure of the Queen, or the sophisticated Shabbos. The Queen begins to sneak away at the end. She would sneak away without a peep from anyone if we weren't so filled with desire and yearning. It's our yearning that in partial measure gives us our edge. We dignify desire. We are hungry. It is unthinkable that we should sit here and watch her go without a counter strategy. We are clever and gilded still from our time together, and merciless with need. And then there is her yearning, her desire, what she carries for music and story, for source wisdom. We delay her with her Joneses, her yearnings. Mm-hmm. Though there is no equivalent yearning, we are limited with description, but some sort of reciprocity of desire is true. She is addicted to story. She desires music, yearning for every moment of relation we have enjoyed. The spiritual delay of depth. We work with more depth. We fill her up with her desires. As we are parting, we squeeze her. Our yearning, our hunger, we wear it everywhere. It is our signature. We are intoxicated with godliness. You said it to me once. You cocked your head, looked up as if you were reading off the wind above my head. I need meaning. It completes me. לכבודכם גד לבבי, ידיעהו הנביא. לכבודכם גד לבבי, ידיעהו הנביא. המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחו. לכבודכם גד לבבי, ידיעהו הנביא. You know, also in this coming week's portion, we have piece about the spices. Mm-hmm. We also have the maftir is about the masks. Mm. The masks, you know. Masve. When Moses was done speaking with us, he put a veil on his face. He put a mask on his face.
Right.
When Moses went in before God, he took it off. Right. Until he came out. And he came out, he spoke to the children of Israel. He spoke to us, everything that he was commanded. And so we saw this face. We saw the face of Moses, the skin of Moses' face that sent forth rays. And Moses put the veil back on his face until he went in to speak with God. So what was this light that was mistranslated at one time as horns? Better rays of light. That's what our ancestors wanted to know. What is this light? The Tosafists were common sense about it. After receiving Torah, Moses was filled with light. He was filled with the light of the Shekhinah. Saja, another one of our early commentators, he said he was sure that the light never left him. It wasn't situational, the light for Moses. It was internal. Moses was switched on all the time. Thus the verse at the end of the story of his story, when his eye had not dimmed in Deuteronomy 34:7. About that verse, Rashi was convinced that it was a covering for the eyes until recently. And then I was talking with Rashi the other day, and he says, no, the mask has got to cover the nose and the mouth, not just the eyes. Nose and mouth mask. Ibn Ezra thought the light remained in the Ohel, in the tent of meeting. It belonged to place, the light. You know how we could have a place like that? That place that has light for you, you know? That was Ibn Ezra's reading. Maybe because he was in Spain, you know, and that was his place. And it was, maybe in his lifetime he saw that the light had settled there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there are places that have more kind of energy for certain people, you know.
Yeah.
Find your place, your holy place.
Connected to place or person. When it's connected to person, you want to be around persons like that. Persons that you know have some sort of light. You know who they are. And they're not that many. It's not like there's a lot of them.
Right. You have to find your people.
But you want to be around them when you see them.
Yeah.
And you know what? They have this, we're learning from Rav Kook. They have a impact, a great impact in a community. You want to be around that light. You want to be near it from a person.
Yeah. I wonder if it works when you're on screens.
Let's see. Let's see. This just in.
But,
let's see who's here. Oh. It says here that Susan Talby's watching.
I'm trying. I don't see any of the chats. So how do you do that?
I don't know. They just show up here.
Is Diane there? I was worried about Diane.
Diane's there.
Hi, Diane. I couldn't see you. Blessings.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hakafeh. You know who else is in this portion this week? Betzalel.
Does he help them with the calf? He helps to fashion the calf. You know, the other beautiful thing about this portion is that God is pretty much at it with us. But Moses, and so has Moses, smashes those first tablets written by God. It's a big deal. Finger of God. But when it comes down to it, Moses pleads for us. Noah took care of his family. Abraham tried to plead for the righteous, but Moses, he pleads for us all. Saints and sinners alike. Moses says, please, give them another chance. And something shifts. Something shifts in the moral story of our people. And Moses does that, I think. Possibility of redemption. Possibility of transformation, of change, of being forgiven, getting a second chance.
I met Bezalel in a jailhouse once.
I'm sure you did.
I did.
Yeah.
He said first he was coming to the synagogue with his sister.
Yeah.
His sister was pregnant at the time. And she wanted to give her child a Hebrew name. And she had done a little research before she showed up. And then when she came, she was a little shy about asking. And Bezalel kind of gave her an arm, saying, go ahead, ask about the name. So she brought it up, and she had a good Hebrew name, and I explained to her what it meant and everything. And Bezalel started to come around, and then, I met him because he was in trouble with the law.
Oh.
So the next time I saw him, I had gotten a call from my connection in the jailhouse. And he said, we have a guy here that wants kosher food. He's coming down off of heroin, he said. So he didn't want to give him kosher food. He says he knows you. He mentioned his name. He says, you know this guy? I said, yeah. I said, give him some good kosher food. That'll really help him. So we okayed the kosher food for him, and then I went to visit him. And to be honest with you, he wasn't Bezalel yet. So we were talking. He says, I need a Hebrew name. I said, well, what is it that you love to do? He says, I love to work with my hands. I said, oh, you should be Bezalel, the artisan. You should be Bezalel. And I explained to him
Bezalel. Where's Bezalel in the story?
Huh?
That was him.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so great.
So I told him what the name meant. Bezalel, in the shadow of God. He said, yeah, I love that.
That's nice.
Then he said something great after that. We're between those big windows.
Yeah.
He's on the other side of the window. Right. And there's people in other little cubbies on the floor.
Yeah.
Visiting. So he says, will you give me a prayer before you leave, Bless me with a prayer for healing. I said, yeah, sure. Because he was in tough shape. I said, yeah. I said, we pray for healing in the name of your mother. So I asked him what his mother's name. He says, oh, she's gone now. I said, no, but what's her name? So he tells me her name. It was a Hebrew name. I said, that is a Hebrew name, He says, okay. So I started to sing the prayer. And I forgot that there were all these people there, So I sang the prayer. And when I was done, there was a moment of quiet. He said, can you do it again? I said, yeah. So I did it maybe 3 times. Nice and slow. Maybe we should do it tonight. Nice and slow. And he thanked me, and as I was leaving, I had to pass by everybody in their little cubbies visiting their people. And all the people looked at me, and most of them thanked me. He said, thanks for that. Thanks for that prayer. I don't know if they knew what I was talking
Probably not.
But
although you never know.
It was very tender. They knew I was doing something holy, something beautiful. Singing a prayer for this guy. Should we make a prayer for healing before we finish?
Sure. Should we do spices?
Okay, let's finish this.
Spices. I hope everybody has something lovely to awaken and carry scent into the week.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei minei v'samim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei biurei ha'esh, creator of the lights of the fire. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ha'makim ben kodesh l'chol. Blessed are you who distinguishes between the holy and the not yet holy, but the holy can arise out of the not yet holy, and the not yet holy arise out of the holy, like that. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol. So what's holy and what's not holy? A matter of discernment. Tender, sensitive. There I was, in the dirty 8th floor of the jailhouse, behind those plexiglass windows, howling a prayer for healing, in the most profane place imaginable, lifting up something exceedingly holy. Hamavdil ben kodesh l'chol. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hakiyavi, Bimera Biyameinu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu
You reading?
Here's another, one more version. Wanna be teach me. I wanna be oh, diavo, shit, I wanna be teach me. I wanna be oh, diavo, shit, So we decided on the Saturday night we would stretch out a little bit more to the ceremony called Malava Malka. A few stories, a few songs that rise. As you can tell, we've been going a little bit longer the last few weeks. And we'll probably continue to do that. To delay the departure of the Queen.
Keep her with us just a little longer. But now she's gone.
You probably thought, you were wondering probably where I was, that story, you're wondering, is this a story? What is this? We don't exactly, we don't script what we're going to do here Saturday. So I was thinking, when I was telling the story about Betzalel, I saw that my partner here had a strange look on her face. And I think she was glad when a story resolved into a denouement, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but now I remember the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe we should end with that same blessing. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes people will say, that story, did that really happen? And the response is, well, I'm not always sure that it happened, but I know it's true. So let's make a prayer for healing, because both my sacred partner and I we noticed that prayers for healing are prayers of weight these days. They're heavier than they used to be. They're heavier. Yeah. And we have to pull them out from a deeper place than we used to pull them out from. And they deserve more attention these days. These are not normal days. These are abnormal days.
Right. What a loss.
רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף. For the healing of the spirit and the healing of the body, for the healing of the spirit and the healing of the body, for those we know, for those we don't know. On my right, the angel Michael, on my left, the angel Gabriel. In front of me, the angel Uriel, behind me, the angel Raphael, and above my head, Shekhinah. Michael, who is like God. Gabriel, God is my strength. Uriel, God is my light. Raphael, God is my healer. And above my head, Shekhinah. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, great healer. Amen.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks for making Havdala with us. We wish everyone a Shavua Tov, a good week, a week of peace, and it is Adar, so a little bit of joy. Shavua Tov. Thanks for showing up. Even through the screens, you can tell. It's a nice sound. Hi, Vicky. Sarah, Mary, Diane. Glad you're here. I get worried when I don't see That's a great melody. Shavua Tov, everyone. Have a great week.